Hi everyone, welcome to Let's Celebrate TV Live. I'm your host, Peter Lee. With me today is, well, the person who makes this all happen. He's the director, cameraman, IT guy, tech guy, sous chef, head cook and bottle washer. He's also my husband, Phil Gortimer.
And good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whether you're watching us live or on replay. We're coming back from a very wet, muddy weekend at our campground, so it's nice to be dry and home.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, dear. Ooh. Beautiful. And before we do this, I want to take a moment and wish all the mothers out there happy Mother's Day. Whether you're a biological mother, a foster mother, an adopted mother, maybe you're a pet mother, maybe you're just a mother figure, a teacher, a pastor, whatever. Happy Mother's Day. So we are honoring our mothers today with this cocktail. This is a Manhattan, a classic Manhattan, but made with a very special whiskey.
And they could certainly drink Manhattans.
Yes, so clink. Though, oh yeah, that's good stuff. I'm sure our mothers are both standing in this room right now, and mine is saying, where's the gin? And yours is going, where's the bloody vodka?
Really. All right, we got people wishing us hi and ho.
Hi, hi, hi.
John Albert says, eggy weggies.
Hey, John Albert. Thanks for joining us.
And Linda's in. Hi, Linda.
Oh, hi, Linda.
And Janine's in.
Yay, hi, Janine. I love all our friends.
No, John, it's not moist at camp. It was wet at camp. Let's be honest now.
All right.
The funny part about that is our space up there was kind of large, and we had a $1,800 8-foot bar built for some entertaining.
Yeah.
And we're trying to work on that while it's pouring with rain.
And cold and basically a little miserable. But we may do. All right. So you don't know if memory serves, because sometimes it doesn't. Hi, Viola. Good to see you. Dear, you don't have any PSAs or announcements or anything fun like that?
No, not today.
Okay. Well, then let's get started. It's all about scrambled eggs. And this is the question from Ron, who sent this in. How do I know when scrambled eggs are done? And he sent that question in, and we started talking, and we thought, you know, we did a basic skills episode on scrambled eggs, but maybe it's time to revisit it and go bigger. So here we are, all about scrambled eggs. Before we start cooking, I'm going to be doing some cooking, but I got to get out my notes. You know, I got to have my notes. Okay, so all about scrambled eggs. And again, with these live streams, I start doing research on whatever the topic is, and I'm always fascinated with little tidbits I learned. So, you all know what a scrambled egg is, right? The technical definition is, scrambled eggs is a dish made from eggs, usually chicken, that is stirred, whipped, or beaten together, typically with salt, butter, oil, and sometimes other ingredients, and heated so they form into curds. That's the definition. Now, history of scrambled eggs was vast. Yes, happy Mother's Day, ladies, all of you out there. Scrambling of eggs, it's an ancient technique, like probably from when people first discovered they could eat eggs. The earliest documented recipe, you probably don't know this, dear, the earliest documented recipe for scrambled eggs was in the 14th century Italian cookbook, Libro della Cucina. I don't speak Italian, so sorry. That's the best I can do. But they've been made around the world. Literally, everyone does scrambled eggs. There's different techniques and different ways they do them. There's Joe Brennan. Joe and Peggy, we have a new shot for you, and I wanted to do it today, but Phil was mean and wouldn't let me. But we have something fun for you.
Maybe we'll do it before
we end today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not, since we have to make a change?
Why don't we do that? While you're doing your bit later, I will set that up. So stay tuned, Joe and Peggy, and everyone else. It's kind of silly. Anyway, techniques vary around the world. Now I would think, oh, scrambled eggs, but people do them crispy on purpose. They do them, somehow scramble them like in hot oil. They'll do large curds, small curds. They'll make them spicy. There's all kinds of fascinating, like almost endless varieties.
Ron Albert says your Italian was spot on.
Thank you. So let's cook. We're going to start with just some basic scrambled eggs. Plain old eggs.
So here's a little trivia for you. Scrambling eggs, people think it's so easy, just put them in and scrape. Did you know that in many restaurants, when executive chefs hire sous chefs or cooks, the first thing they ask them to do is make them scrambled eggs?
Yep.
Because it's so easy to overcook them and make it wrong.
Scrambled eggs, sometimes a soup. When I was cooking 100 years ago, I applied for a job, and the chef was like, okay, go into the pantry, into the larder, you've got 20 minutes, make me a soup. Okay, I got the job somehow. I didn't keep it very long, but I got it. But yeah, scrambled eggs is another one because, there's just certain things when you're a chef, or you claim to be a chef or a cook, and if you can't get that right, Okay, we've got some eggies here. My favorite organic eggs. Now, I like doing them in a graduate like this so that I can pour it, I can control how they pour in. And notice, I've got a little dish, because I'm going to crack each one into here. Yes, it takes a moment longer, but what does this do for you? It allows you to make sure you don't get any eggshells. And if that 1 out of a billion egg turns out to be bad, you've not ruined your whole batch here. And I've had both things happen when I was lazy and didn't do it this way.
Jackson says my favorite.
Hi, Jack. Hi, Keith. Because I know Keith is there too, I'm sure. All right, we'll just do 3 for now. Let's get rid of these. Now, I like to add a little salt at this point. I know, a lot of people say it makes them tough, it makes them rubbery. I've not found that to be true. I have found if I add it now, the level of seasoning is throughout the eggs. When you add it later, it's just on top, you get salty eggs. I'm also going to use some dairy, and a lot of people don't like to do that too. You don't need dairy. You could do this just straight scrambled eggs. But I like a little splash of milk or half and half or cream if I'm really feeling decadent. That's a little much, but oh well. I just find it makes richer flavor. So we're just going to beat these up till they're well combined. Let me get my pan heating. Very low flame, please. There we go. And get that butter melting. Now, I'm not beating these up till they're frothy. I am just making sure they're well combined and trying to get any of the whites incorporated. Angel says, I only eat scrambled eggs if they're drowned in ketchup. You know, one of my brothers was like that. My brother Andrew. He would just, well, we didn't have squeeze bottles in those days, but...
Didn't RCB like his eggs covered in ketchup?
Possibly. RCB, if you're here and watching, let us know. But yeah, ketchup on scrambled eggs is a thing. I think I tried it once when I was a kid and tried it again as an adult and was like, ooh. All right. What?
John Albert says, Julia says to beat for 80 counts.
80 counts.
Well, if you're going to go along with that route, Ming Tsai says all cocktails should be shaken or stirred 88 times.
And like when we're having a martini, we want it really cold. Yeah, we do. We'll just shake it and count. This
Good
is very
Manhattan.
nice.
Yep.
Yes. Made with our new favorite, VO Black. Not that that's commercial for VO. Just saying. It's what we like. All right. I'm going to pour this in. And we're using a rubber spatula. Yeah, shake that martini. Exactly, Janine. I want to get as much of these eggs out of here. I get so sad when I see it on TV, especially, and the chefs pour stuff, and it's like, you've left a quarter cup of whatever that mixture was, and, you know. Now I'm just going to start gently scraping. at the bottom because they're already starting to set up. So here's the key to scrambled eggs and not overcooking them. If it looks done in the pan, it's overdone on the plate, and that's due to carryover cooking. Now, of course, some of that is subjective to taste. Some people like creamier. Is that a very low flame? That's probably as low as I can get on this particular burner.
A little technical trivia. Eggs start to solidify at 140 degrees, 60 degrees centigrade. So the trick is by cooking them very, very low and moving them, they solidify slower and concentrate more flavor.
Now, I'm using rubber spatula to keep them moving. There are techniques out there where you just kind of shake the pan. I've done that. I find this is just easier, just as easy. But I think when you're on the line and you're having to do a lot of scrambled eggs, just shaking the pan is probably more efficient.
For a second, I thought this was Kevin.
Oh, what else can you do besides scrambled eggs? What else can you do with scrambled eggs besides mixing in cheese and stuff? Oh, there is so much to do. There are so many dishes out there that incorporate scrambled eggs.
Actually, this is the one I meant to show.
Oh, mine is cheesy with lots of orange cheese. Yeah, so Kevin, if you're watching, remember the radioactive potatoes you did for my birthday one year? And we've done radioactive eggs. Okay, these are good. I'm going to pull these right now onto the plate.
Let's make the statement.
These might be a little loose for some people. A little wet looking, a little creamy, but you see it's kind of solidified on the back here. These will keep cooking even out of the pan. Eggs are infamous for carryover cooking, especially scrambled eggs.
So the statement is, if it looks done in the pan, it's overdone on the plate. It should look wet in the pan before you take them out. At that point, it'll finish. There's no way to stop the carryover cooking. If you wait until it's already firm and looking good, it'll be rubber by the time you serve it.
And about a couple of scallion tops on it.
Oh, late to the party.
Hey, Hank.
We love our Hank. How is it? What's the temperature in Arizona? It's wet and miserable over here in New Jersey.
And Hank, I got your email about the hollandaise sauce. That sounds exciting. I'm going to have to try that technique. So, dear,
let's show these off.
Do you want to try these? So here we go. Not overdone, creamy looking, or should I just dive in? Because you always like to try stuff first.
Well, dive in. Well, get 2 forks. I'll be right there.
Okay.
Hank says it's 88. It's 62 here.
But it's damp.
But damp and wet.
Or moist, as John Albert would say.
At our campground in the mountains this morning, it was 42 degrees. Now you see, it's not wet anymore.
Right.
And now they're very, very soft.
Fluffy, light, creamy.
Could use a bit more salt, actually.
Wow. Hear him? Could use a bit more salt. Why don't you take it with you?
No.
Oh, you're full now from your medicine, huh?
Hey, I'm down to 199 pounds. Shut up.
Good, dear. Yes, dear. All right. Yolanda, I like scrambled eggs on buttered toast with a sprinkling of chives. Yeah, sometimes the simplest is the best. Oops.
Janine, who's in Florida, says it's 85.
Are we going to have the map today?
No, not today.
Okay.
The developer of the map is making some changes that I've requested, so we'll hold off for another week or so before you bring the map back.
Oh, that's good. Now, what I love about scrambled eggs, yeah, you can get really boring with them, and someone asks, what else can you do with them? Scrambled eggs are a blank canvas. You can add just about anything to it. Right, so Yolanda likes them on buttered toast with a sprinkling of chives. But there's so much more you can do it. Maybe you just want to add some cheese, maybe, I don't know, some sausage or bacon to them, or onions, peppers. Peppers and eggs is a thing, right? Viola says 84 degrees here. Nice. Where's Viola? I should know this.
I don't know. I know Janine's in Florida, and then we know Hank is in Arizona. I don't know where Viola is from. We'll let
You should
her.
know this. We've talked to her.
I know.
Sorry, Viola. Go ahead, Salem.
Oh, okay. She's in California.
That's okay. Yeah, so I thought.
Probably she's she's probably right around the corner from In the Kitchen with Karen.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Central Florida, she said. Okay.
Okay. So, let's keep cooking. I'm going to get a little bigger pan. And, dear, wasn't there a question sent in about what I'm about to cook?
Yeah, hold on. Let me go find it. Here we go.
So, Mary sent in, many New Jersey diners make something called the hot mess. It is scrambled eggs with as many as 12 items in it, and it's fun comparing the versions. And that's true because we do a diner tour when it's not camping season, where we're up in Pennsylvania every weekend. But when we're home the rest of the year, we find another diner. Sometimes it's far away, but it's all in Jersey, but we'll make a day out of it. And it is fascinating that they all seem to have some version. Some of them call it a hot mess, some of them call it garbage eggs, but it's all different. And
in Jersey, there are 1,600 diners. We've probably hit 300 of them over the years. We actually have a database of them. But the hot mess is one of those fun things to compare from one to the other.
And there aren't as many 24-hour diners left as there used to be, but it's one of those things that is really popular, after you're out partying with your friends and you go to the late night diner and you need to sober up and it's 2, 3 in the morning and that's what you order. So let's make that. Let's first, now this is one of those things where I had in my mind, this is what we're going to do, a big everything. But I didn't think about how I'm going to execute it until the car ride home. And then I thought, okay, good thing we work best under pressure.
Good thing ShopRite's right around the corner.
Well, there's that too. Hey, we spent less than $100 today, which was...
Yeah, that's good for us.
We got a lot. Again, let's get some butter in the pan. I like butter. Some people prefer cooking spray. I prefer butter. I just think it tastes better. Lower flame. Lower right now. Not too low.
So we're doing a hot mess, right?
We are doing a hot mess. And we're going to start with, let's bring this back, some butter. Let's get it going.
Janine says her #1 video is pepper and eggs.
Is it really? Okay.
We'll check that out.
Yeah. I'm going to add some onions. And I'm adding them in now. I just want them to sweat and soften. We'll give them a little salt, help them get it started. And then I'm going to crack my eggs. Just like we did before.
Hank says everything is better with butter. We couldn't agree more.
Absolutely.
Paula Dean is proud of us.
But then there's the whole debate of salted or unsalted butter. And I think both have their place and their applications.
Oh, this might bother you.
When I have to cook for a crowd, I use powdered eggs like we had in the military. No one can tell the difference. Okay. I once worked in a kitchen, and they would do Sunday brunch. And the head chef, air quotes chef, would use powdered eggs to make a big tin of them, and then he would cook them in the oven. So it just kind of solidified into this like loaf, and he never understood why people didn't like the scrambled eggs. And he would try mixing it and cutting it and chopping it, and it's like they don't taste very good. Then an olive oil and eggs is also good. Yeah, I mean, you can do it in olive oil. Absolutely. 9 times out of 10, I just prefer butter. But I've done them in olive oil.
Can you pull that pan onto the center, please? There you go.
Yes, dear. Is that better for the
Yes,
camera?
the director has spoken.
Welcome to my world. Thank you, dear. All right.
What? No curtsy? Oh, another cat heard from.
Is that Salem? Yeah, hi,
That was
Salem.
Salem.
Salem's our old man.
Maxwell's asleep on the couch.
All right, a little bit of half and half in here.
Hank knows you well.
That's what you think about powdered egg. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I know, like everything else, they have a purpose. I'm just not a fan. Anyway, these are starting to soften. Let's add some more stuff to it. Because I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. I have some cubed potatoes. Now, this is one of the few canned things that I keep in my pantry. Is these diced, cubed potatoes. Here's another one that I always keep in my pantry. Some canned mushrooms. Especially for times like today where I didn't want to take the time to pre-cook the mushrooms. These are brilliant that way. Okay.
Hey, I'm getting the buttons right today.
Good
I
there.
haven't missed one.
All right. Yeah. Dixie, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
That was such a great inside joke.
A little pepper. And a little bit more salt, just because I've added stuff to it. Not too much.
And potatoes need lots of salt.
Well, yeah. And I do buy the, salt-free or low-sodium ones in the can. Because I try and watch our sodium.
And for those who want to learn how to flip food with one hand, we've
Yes.
got a great video on that.
Yes, we do. All right. Let's mix this up. Get this ready to go.
That's all you're going to put in there?
Oh, no, mon petit.
I'm disappointed.
Oh, no. Do not worry, dear. But I'm only doing 4 eggs because I want more stuff than eggs. Some diners, you get more eggs than stuff, but I want it the other way around. Let's add some sausage. I have some breakfast sausage I ground up earlier, fried up. Can't go wrong with bacon. Why not? Sorry, love.
All right, Dixie, you get 50-50. You have to see that, but we toasted with a Manhattan, so
Right.
you can't have it both ways.
And Dixie and Phil, we really have to get together this summer while we're up that way, even if we just meet for lunch.
Look at this.
I'm old, never heard of powdered eggs. Where can I see those? Oh, wow. I don't know if you can get them in regular grocery stores. You probably can. I have seen them in restaurant supply stores. I've not, but I've never looked for them in the regular grocery stores either, though. I have some roasted red peppers. That's a little brightness, color.
Oh, sorry, I missed that one.
That's okay.
There you go.
Roasted red peppers from a jar. Again, as much as I promote fresh is best, no processed foods or very little processed foods, there are a few things that I do keep around. Jarred peppers, canned potatoes, canned mushrooms for events like this. And I don't mean just for live stream, but sometimes they are the appropriate ingredient. Cassie, I've always been told to add water, not milk, or to salt the eggs before I scramble them. And that's one of those controversial things. I find adding water, it breaks it down and it washes away the flavor, it dilutes everything. As to salt before or after, I've been told both. I think it's a matter of taste. Some of my chef friends out there, like Rob, if you're watching, you may disagree. I don't know. But I find salting them before you cook them gets it better flavor. And if you don't overcook them, you're not going to get tough eggs, as we just demonstrated. All right, now I'm going to turn down the heat. We have a little marker on this to the lowest setting before it blows out. We're going to pour these in.
Janine says it's great for canned potatoes and mushrooms. Yeah, they're not something you want to put in to season, but they work really well in eggs and
casseroles and things like this.
We use them a lot in stir fries.
Well, it depends on the stir fry. Now this pan was very hot, so this is almost turning into an omelet, but I'm going to keep it moving and break it all up. Yes, Salem.
Yes, Salem. We get you. I know. We've been gone all weekend. You're yelling at us.
I did feed you, Salem, as soon as we got home.
Tony's here.
I lost it at the mushrooms. All the other add-ons are wonderful. Use skim or whole milk. I only use whole milk, and today I'm using half and half. You could use skim if you wanted to, but I prefer whole milk. All right, again, let's get this off the heat. But this is one of those things where if they do get a little overdone, it's okay. It looks delicious, Pete. Thank you, Linda. So here's a quick version of
the hot mess.
Hot mess, or garbage eggs, as some diners call them. Look, here's a plate for you, dear.
Hank says Amazon has powdered eggs.
Ah, of course they do. What don't they have?
Wait, I'm going to bring my own fork this time.
Bring your fork. Hold on. We're going to have a little scallion.
Oh, we're still dead. Oops, I need to change the screen back before I walk away from my control panel.
Silly bear. And little parcels for prettiness sake. You could put cheese on top of this. You know what? Let's put some cheese. Look, I have some orange cheese here.
Oh.
Which I forgot.
Kevin, orange cheese.
Here we go, Kevin. I should have put them in. I forgot. I was all excited.
One of these days, we're going to have to tell the story of the...
We'll tell it right now.
The radioactive cheese.
We'll tell it right now. So we used to have a tradition when Kevin was little. He and Phil would cook me dinner every year on my birthday. And I wouldn't interfere. I would leave the house, or I would go in another room and play Nintendo or whatever. And one year they did this beautiful turkey dinner. They roasted turkey and everything was great. The potatoes, mashed potatoes, were bright orange and really, really stiff. And Kevin was using orange cheese, and he put so much cheese in them. It was
3 pounds.
Yeah, like cement. And those two were like, this is the best ever. And I took a bite, and it was bitter and like, great. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Love you. And I kind of didn't eat them. And yeah. So, all right.
It was good.
Is it good?
Yep.
Yeah, I should have put the cheese in. So yeah, you can put cheese in. I should have done that. But on top is fine too.
Tim says you're using brown eggs today. What happened to the blue and green ones from the farm?
Well, so Fresh Gons, if you're watching, Fresh Gone Farms, if you're watching, I had every intention of ordering a flat of your farm fresh eggs for this episode, so I could give you another plug, show the beautiful, but then it just didn't happen. You know, unfortunately, I still work full time, and my pesky full-time job just got in the way this week. And every time I said, oh, I got to order them and I got to sneak out, and then something would happen. Maybe next time. But at least I'm using organic eggs. But yeah, Tim, thank you for noticing that. Yeah, this is good. It's silly fun. And really, at 2 in the morning, after you might have had a cocktail or two, maybe one too many.
Or a bonfire is
perfect.
over.
Yeah. All right. Delicious.
Give me a second to set up.
Oh, yes, it's time for you, dear.
It's time for me.
And while you're doing that, I'll go do what we talked about.
Oh, okay.
Okay. On to you, mon petite.
And today the small channel spotlight is us. Specifically, our LCTV line of clothes. I got my own little t-shirt right here. already, we've only had the shop open a couple of weeks, and the aprons are running away. And we've got a little bit of everything from aprons. Our son Kevin designed the graphics. For you Hillsiders watching, our son also is the designer of the Hillside Campground logo. And we've got aprons and apparel. We have shirts in multiple types. We have Pride editions of some of our shirts. This right now seems to be the most popular one. The Keep Calm and Let YouTube
Let the YouTube chef handle it.
Right. And if I get the right screen up here, you can get to it by going to shop.letscelebrate.tv, or if you're watching us on YouTube, on the YouTube page, there's the shop. On our Facebook group, it is in the links. And if you go to our website, letscelebrate.tv, you can also get to it from there. They're inexpensive. We try to keep the price as low as we can without losing money. The only thing that's real expensive is the aprons. They're $35. They're super high quality. In the process of doing this, we probably checked out 10 different companies worth of aprons, and they were horrible. Now, the ones that Peter wears are $60 because they're embroidered. We thought that was a little much, so we kind of compromised. Our son, who makes all these, this is his personal favorite: cook cocktails, entertain, and celebrate.
And isn't that our message, right?
Yep. And of course, what would a store be without coffee mugs? The standard edition and our Pride editions. So, back to you.
Back to me,
as I
Bob.
get to my screen. Okay.
All right, here I am. Okay, now.
Are we going to do our ridiculous?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Joe and Peggy, pay attention. Maybe back in your youth.
Hillside campers, pay attention.
Maybe back in your youth, when you were silly, and you might have done a shot of tequila. You know, the salt on the hand and the lime, and you lick and you do all this. Well, there's a new version. This is our new favorite thing, and I know it's not on the big screen, but it's dill pickle vodka. It makes an amazing Bloody Mary, but this particular brand, it comes in dill pickle, which is green, and it comes in a bright pink for sweet pickle. Haven't tried that one yet, but this is delicious as a shot, and that is what we're going to do.
Now, we have almost frozen this to make it super cold.
Yeah, the pickle brine in it will freeze, so you'll get like a slushy. But our friends Joe and Peggy have this ritual where Peggy will say, like randomly, "Hey, Shorty, come here," and that means that they're going to do a shot. And in fact, their kids thought his nickname was Shorty for the longest time. So this is our new tradition because Phil does that to me. He'll just go like with a shot glass, and then I know, oh. Which is why we've had this bottle only a short time, and it's almost done.
So you need a very cold. We're using Clausen's
dill chips. You use whatever kind you like.
What are we doing first? We doing the drink first or the?
We do the drink first, right?
So we do it reverse. So drink first.
To Mom. Oh yeah.
It's so stupidly good.
It really is. So thank you for that, dear. I'm glad I was able to shame you into it. I wanted to open the show doing that, and he was like, "That's going to send the wrong message." What's wrong with that message? Oh, that's nice.
They all know we're drunks anyway.
That's my bear. Anyway, that was fun. Oh, congrats, guys. I like the shirt. Well, thank you.
John says he needs one of those mugs.
Yes, you do, John. You do. J.A., you need one of those mugs. So does Buddy. Okay. Now,
to answer your question, Janine, only the aprons are in black because they have to be. But all of the shirts come in about 25 different colors, whether you're looking for a heavyweight one or a lightweight one that will fade over time.
Oh, There's a flying thing. It looks like a bee. It's on the
Is it on my microphone?
No, it's on the light.
Oh, on the light. Okay.
Oh, I hope we don't have. A couple years ago, we had an infestation of yellow jackets. They got in under the siding, and they were down here in the basement, over there in the corner, and they were just coming through and somehow getting into the house. And two of our cats thought it was great. They were just killing them. It was sport. They never got stung, but I would come down and there'd be a couple dozen dead yellow jackets, and we had to pay a boatload of money.
Janine's got the right idea.
To see them. You go, Janine.
And then model them on your live stream.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later anyway, this week.
Now we have a random bee in here. I'm not happy. So we'll see what it is. Anyway, back to cooking. One of the things that when I pursued my culinary career for like those 30 seconds that I did it, I always had aspirations of being into fine dining, doing the higher end foods and things. And when we were planning this episode, I thought, how can I make scrambled eggs fancy? And I saw something on a cooking show or on a magazine or something 100 years ago, and it must have stuck back here, and it came forward, and so I've been playing. So we're going to attempt fancy 5-star scrambled eggs. We're going to start, again, like we did before, with some eggs.
I'm still eating the hot mess.
Well, that's okay, because I'm going to eat this one. And just to not dirty another dish, we'll use the same one from before. Although I have a dishwasher. His name is Phil.
Actually, I have two dishwashers. One's called Frigidaire, and one's called KitchenAid.
Well, no, it's a Whirlpool, not a Frigidaire.
Whatever.
All right, whatever. Jiminy crickets. Okay, we're going to do 4 eggs. Again. I may not put all of them in this, but I want the extras. This is going to be an episode, but don't start writing things down. Oh, oops, messed that up. That was lucky. But it's going to be an episode.
So, Janine, you say I'm in on that. Does that mean you're in on the shot, or you're in on the shirts?
Oh, I hope it's on the shot. Yeah, in the kitchen, Karen, do you have pickle vodka? That pickle vodka, you need to hook up some of our friends. Hi, Robin, I'm so glad you're here. Yay, I love it when our friends join. Okay, just like before, I've been using the same standard egg mixture. A little bit of salt. No pepper yet. It's coming. We're going to break this up. Whiskey.
Oh, here's a good question, because I've talked about this before.
Is there any difference in the... Okay, is there any difference in the nutritional value between brown and white eggs? No, they're exactly the same. The
Nutritionally.
Color... I'll wait.
Okay, I'm done now.
Thank you. There is no difference in the nutritional value, whether they're white or brown or blue or red or yellow, whatever color. The color depends on the chicken. Some of it is what the chickens eat, but different types of chickens lay different types of eggs. That's why a couple weeks ago, in one of our live streams, I had all those, they were blue and white and tan and dark brown and green. There was like a khaki green color, but all the same nutritionally. Inside, all exactly the same. What I find the difference between, say, these organic eggs or the farm fresh eggs and generic white chicken eggs that you buy at the supermarket is these have much thicker shells, and I find that their yolks are brighter. They're probably taste the same, and nutritionally they're the same, but I find the regular cheap supermarket eggs have very brittle shells compared to these. So I prefer these. That's just my opinion.
See, now I think for me, the brown eggs seem to have a larger yolk. That may just be interpretation, but...
and you prefer the taste of them.
I do.
Now, someone asked, hello, there we go.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kathy. She likes her scrambled eggs well cooked, nice and hard.
Well, you know, I mean, to each his own. Okay. Then enjoy them. As long as you enjoy them and you make them, why not?
Rob says,
How about spots? Some of the egg shells will have spots, all the same. You know, it shouldn't make a difference. I'm assuming you're talking about on the egg shells, Rob. If you're cracking open an egg and it has spots in it, I would be leery of that too. Excuse me, I'm a little thirsty. All right, while that's heating up, I have here a nice plate, and I'm using my favorite thing. You see I started to set this up. My ring mold. You may not have one of these. If you don't, you could use, I don't know, a tuna fish can. You could use a piece of PVC piping that you've cut down and washed really well. Or these are not expensive and not hard to find. Wow, what?
Ginny says, I'm going to drink that shot wearing that shirt.
All right, excellent.
Girl,
On your next live stream. Yoo-hoo.
video or it didn't happen.
Well, we'll have to watch our next live stream. So, I have here, back to me.
Hold on.
Back to me. I have a nice piece of bread here. Now, this, I will play true confessions. The good thing I can say about our local ShopRite is they have an excellent bakery. And I grabbed what I thought was a Kalamata olive loaf. This is actually a raisin and apricot loaf, which I didn't know until I cut down because they look exactly the same and they were all mixed together. So shame on me for not reading the label. But all I did, here it is. I sliced it up, took this, did that, smushed it down, cut it out, and I have this nice round of bread. You could do this with any type of bread. You could do it with shredded hash browns, which we were going to do, and then I forgot to buy them. But you'll see, this just fits right in here. And this is going to be the base of our eggs. Now, I'm already going to clean this up because it's supposed to be fine dining. It's supposed to be pretty. Because the feast begins with the eye. We eat with our eyes first. If it looks nice, it's going to taste nice. In theory. All right, this is nice and hot, a little brown. Eggs right in. Stir it up, scrape it out.
A little hotter than normal.
That's okay. I'll turn it down even more. Yeah, a little hotter than normal, but that's okay. The browned butter was not intentional, but it's going to give it a really good flavor. So work fast.
Caleb says, I like microwaving my scrambled eggs.
Oh, Caleb. Okay, well, you know what? I had an aunt in her later years, towards the end of her life, when her kids had all left and abandoned her, and she was just cooking for herself. She would microwave eggs, and I went over to spend some time with her. I was going to cook her dinner, and I ended up spending the whole night. And anyway, the next morning she's like, "I'm cooking you breakfast," and she microwaved scrambled eggs, and they weren't bad.
So we have two questions in a row that are the same thing.
Okay.
We've got
Hold on.
Jonas says scrambled.
Okay, scrambled duck eggs, absolutely. All right, again, almost done. I'm putting these into the ring mold. Rather sloppily, but I'm doing it.
And then John Albert also says, have you used duck eggs?
Okay, so yes, you can scramble duck eggs, absolutely. And yes, J.A., I have used duck eggs many times. Duck eggs are richer. Their yolks are richer and bigger than chicken eggs. They are quite delicious. A little more expensive, but you're starting to see them, at least we are down here in New Jersey, we're starting to see them more and more in the supermarkets. Okay, now we're going to let that sit for just a moment.
Carryover cooking.
Carryover cooking is going to help them set up. Ooh, that's hot. Now, before I make a right mess of this, let me just get this out of the way. Bring this over. What's that? What's that big green thing?
Do we have something that begins with an S that might go on it?
Like what? Sugar? We're going to use some smoked salmon today. I love smoked salmon. Very, very much. It's one of my favorite things. And you know, when I was getting ready, I was like, oh, I should have this everything mise en place. And I thought, it's kind of fun just to do this live and open the packet like you would at home. So I'm just going to take a couple layers. I'm not going to worry about being too delicate right now. And we're going to take, I mean, look how beautiful that is. We're just going to kind of artfully, as much as I can, pile this on top. Now, you could use salmon roe or salmon caviar. You could use regular caviar. Hi, Preston the cat.
He says, I smell salmon.
Yeah. And I'm going to be generous with this because why not? It's Mother's Day. And our mothers would like this. They would like us to be generous if we were making this for them. All right. And I have some dill. Yeah, clear that up. I'm just going to pick a few fronds just to put on top for prettiness. Dill and salmon are a match made in heaven. Now, let's all say a prayer that this works and doesn't go bleh. It worked when I tested it yesterday. Wow, this is hot. Okay, here we go. All right. Now, how beautiful is that? Could you have a sauce around this? Absolutely, you can have a sauce. I won't even show. I was going to do a little olive oil drizzle. Should have used a white plate, but look how beautiful that is.
I think olive oil would be cool.
Yeah, but I won't show on the black plate.
So do it anyway. You're tasting it.
Oh,
it's
hey,
for you.
Where's my man store olive oil?
At camp.
No, I have some upstairs. You could do a few little driblets of olive oil around or some other sauce. Now we're also going to, let's do a few little chives around. That will pretty it up. There we go. So, kind of fine dining scrambled eggs. Thank you, Viola. So, Rob, I hope you're watching. Shall I give it a taste here?
Of course. This one's on you.
Yes, it is. It is indeed. Now, here's always the challenge with things like this. How do I eat it without messing it up? The reality is you can't. You got to mess it up. But doesn't this make you want to dive in? Because it's so beautiful. And there's height and depth and flavors and colors. Let me guess. I can use this one, I guess. This sharp knife. There we go. All right. Big bite.
Hank says it's a $30 dish.
OMG. That's so good. The smoked salmon is getting a little warm. The eggs, which makes it taste wonderful. The eggs are creamy. That little bit of brown butter flavor is there. Do you approve, dear? Mm-hmm. You could also
The salmon's really good.
hit it with a little bit of crack on top. Cracked pepper. So that's an easy way of doing fine dining, fancy scrambled eggs. And it really didn't, what did I cook? I cooked some scrambled eggs. I opened a packet of smoked salmon. I cut a round out of bread. You could have toasted it. You could do, like I said, with shredded hash browns if you wanted.
Well, this is a good question.
Doesn't make any difference if my eggs are right out of the fridge or if they're at room temp. Yeah, it really does, I think. So my basic rule is unless a recipe specifies something needs to be extremely cold, like cold butter for pastry or cold cheese you might be mixing into something, maybe pastry or whatever, I tend to let things come up to room temperature. It only takes 10 or 15 minutes, unless it's like a big roast or turkey or something you want to take out earlier. But having things at room temperature helps them cook more efficiently and more evenly. And eggs, people worry, oh my God, my egg's been out for 5 minutes. They're fine. They're absolutely fine.
And the rest of the world doesn't even refrigerate eggs.
Well, that's because the rest of the world doesn't wash their eggs, but here in America we do, dear. Okay.
Oops, hold on. We already did that one. Here we go.
I like using extra virgin olive oil to make my scrambled eggs. I like the taste better than butter. Okay, sure, you could. You absolutely can. And I would bet that the flavor would vary with the olive oil that you use. I prefer butter, but I've done them with olive oil.
Here's a new person.
What?
I need coffee.
The smoked salmon works well with the raisin apricots in the bread. Well, and that's why, thank you. That's why I continued with it when I realized my mistake. And I thought, well, it's kind of a brunch dish. Sweet and savory together. I wonder if that's Rob.
All right, so you've put the smoked salmon on the top. This one person asks, can you mix it in the eggs?
You absolutely can. I put it on the top for presentation. You could do both. If I had been able to get salmon roe, salmon caviar, I would have mixed the smoked salmon into the eggs and then topped it with the caviar. But yeah, you absolutely can. It's delicious. Sour cream, chive sauce around. Sure, absolutely. And, Janine and everyone, so this was all in my head, but we got home a little later than we planned. So it was like, oh, it's 1:30 and we had 2 hours, less than, go. So
it's a 3.5 hour drive from our campground. We left at 8:30 or 9 o'clock when it was raining this morning. So
it was a little slower drive. We had to stop at ShopRite on the way. It was Mother's Day and it was crazy. But yeah, you're right. I should have thought of that. But no, absolutely. A nice sour cream sauce with some herbage. Absolutely. Delicious.
Now, we know what this dish is because we've had this one.
I had a dish at a Moroccan restaurant that had scrambled eggs wrapped in pastry and it was topped with powdered sugar. Yes. We've had that, and the restaurant we had it in, there was also chicken in it, I think. Yeah. There's other stuff.
Marrakesh.
Yeah, Marrakesh. And the eggs were very well cooked, very hard cooked. Excuse me, I don't know what that's called. I know it has a name. But someone else asked, what else can you do with scrambled eggs? That's an example of how different cultures use scrambled eggs in their cooking. And it is a savory and sweet dish. And it's all wrapped in like phyllo dough. So there's layers of dough. And you eat everything with your hands, and it's delicious. And the first time you have it, you're like, powdered sugar? Ew. But when you eat it...
Yeah, it was really good.
I think it has almonds in it, too.
We haven't been there for a while.
Yes, we did, dear. Yes, don't. We went there like 4 times.
That was last year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In the last 6 months, dear. Thank you, Janine. Thank you.
You still have Manhattan left? Boy, amateur.
I've been a little busy, dear. All right, we're getting close to time. So, what's next? What's coming up on LCTV? You want to talk about the next live stream?
Yes, because normally we do these every 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now is Memorial Day weekend. We want you to be with your families, enjoying yourself. You do not need to be sitting on YouTube watching two of us go blah, 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 blah. So we will do our next live stream next week.
Yep.
And then go back to the every 2 weeks to not interfere with your time with your families.
And our next live stream, I've decided this. I have spoken.
Okay.
It's all about cheese. Cheese, because Kevin, if you're watching, what do you always say? Cheese is good. And I've had lots of questions about, well, what kind of cheese do I cook with? How do I pair it with wine? What cheese is good for this? I want to do that, blah, 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 etc., etc. So we're going to be exploring cheeses. What cheeses do you cook with? What cheeses do you eat? How do you pair them with wines and cocktails? What's the best way to serve cheese? If you do, why are you looking at me?
I'm thinking we need to do some B-roll of the cheese selection.
Oh, like Wegmans and ShopRite or Bagliani's. Bagliani's, yeah, if they'll let us, absolutely. So there is actually a science behind doing a cheese board and how you serve it. There's a science behind how you cut the different cheeses to serve them. And I'm not talking about a charcuterie board that has lots of stuff. I'm talking a simple cheese board, which is not as simple as you may think because there's all the science behind to get it right. So yeah, it's going to be all about cheese. Now, what other recipes and episodes do we have coming up? So Jerry, you probably haven't heard any of these things either. We have more cocktails coming. We're working on, for summer coming up, a Midori Sour. It's bright and refreshing, and Midori is so wonderful. And it's green. It's fun. We have, and Rob, if you're watching, we talked about this. We have some more basic skills coming up. One of them is called a beurre monté, and it's a type of sauce. It's not one of the mother sauces. It's kind of a variation offshoot of them. But it's simple and delicious, and it has a whole bunch of varieties that you can do.
Is that the butter sauce?
Yes.
Okay.
Lots of other recipes in the works. Braising short ribs and lamb shanks, things like that.
We know nothing about this.
Gee, sorry I'm suffering a martini hangover from last night. Yeah, we don't know anything what that's about. So at our campground on Fridays and Saturday nights, one of our friends hosts shots. And it's at 9:30, and you go, and there's usually 15 or 20 of us, and then they have a selection of boozes. And everyone picks whatever, so they'll be like, okay, cherry vodka, and then whoever wants cherry vodka raises their hand. And they go all the way around, and then when everyone has whatever shot they've chosen, we all do the shot together. We do a toast and the shot. And that happens 5, sometimes 6 or 7 times. So, yeah.
And then we go to the bonfire.
Yeah. But it's silly fun. So yeah, we have lots in the works coming up. So anyway, it's just 4:31. So thank you for joining us, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there, and all you people in the credits here. Thank you very much, and we will see you for our next live stream next week. All right, bye.